There is a truth that the lion understands completely and effortlessly, that most human beings spend their entire lives struggling to accept that the life it was built for is not something it has to earn through the approval of other animals. Not something it has to negotiate for, not something it has to beg the landscape to allow it. To have it is simply what it is, completely and without condition, and the fullness of that life is available to it the moment it stops waiting for something outside itself to confirm that it deserves it. Watch how the lion moves, not with urgency, not with the frantic energy of something trying to prove that it belongs, not with the performance of confidence that is actually insecurity wearing a costume, but with the slow and completely unhurried authority of something that arrived already complete, that carries its worth not in what it has achieved or what others have said about it, but in the simple and unassailable fact of what it is. And that quality, that movement from wholeness rather than from lack, is the single most powerful thing you could adopt from everything the lion has to teach you. You have spent too long moving through your life the way a visitor moves through a space that does not belong to them, carefully, apologetically, always slightly aware of the possibility that someone might ask you to leave, always performing a version of yourself that is just palatable enough to avoid rejection, always making yourself slightly smaller than you actually are to fit into rooms that were never built to hold the full size of what you carry, and the cost of that performance has been the life that was waiting on the other side at the moment you finally stopped giving it. The lion does not beg, not for food, not for territory, not for the respect of the animals around it, not for the right to exist at the level it was built to inhabit. And this is not arrogance, because arrogance is the performance of a confidence that does not exist beneath the surface. And what the lion carries is something entirely different. It is the settled and unperformable knowing of a being that has never separated itself from its own nature long enough to forget what it is, and that knowing, that deep organic certainty about its own worth, is what you were also born with, and what the world has been working to separate you from ever since you arrived in it. Think about what it has cost you every time you made yourself smaller to avoid standing out, every time you swallowed what you actually thought to say, what was more acceptable, every time you stayed in something you had already outgrown because leaving required the courage to disappoint someone, every time you handed the decision about your own life to people who were never going to carry the consequences of it. Add all of that up, all the energy spent managing other people's comfort at the expense of your own truth, and what you have is a number so large that the only reasonable response to it is to make the decision right now that not one more moment of your life will be added to it. The lion's power does not come from the absence of difficulty. The lion's life is full of difficulty, full of seasons without rain and hunts without success, and challenges to its territory and losses that hurt in ways that the animal does not speak of. But's power comes from the fact that it moves through all of it without ever allowing any of it to renegotiate what it is at the fundamental level, because the difficulty does not get to rewrite the identity, the failure does not get to reclassify the worth, and the opinion of the hyenas does not get a seat at the table where the lion decides what it is. And that is the instruction, not to avoid the difficulty, but to move through it without letting it change your answer to the question of who you are. So here is what I am asking you to do, not tomorrow, not when the circumstances improve, not when you feel more ready or more certain or more deserving. Right now, in this exact moment, with everything you have and everything you have not yet figured out, I am asking you to make the decision that the lion made before it ever took its first step into the landscape it was built for. The decision that its life, its worth, its right to occupy space fully and move through the world completely and pursue everything it was designed to pursue. None of that is conditional. None of that requires permission. None of that is up for negotiation with anyone who was never qualified to have the conversation in the first place. And from this moment forward, the only voice that gets to weigh in on what you are worth is the one that has been trying to tell you the truth about it since before the world had a chance to drown it out. You were not built to beg for the life that was always yours. You were built to claim it, to inhabit it fully, to move through it with the same quiet and unshakable authority of a being that arrived already complete and has never once required the world's permission to be exactly what it is. And if this found you at the moment you needed it most, then do not leave without subscribing to Mind Unspoken, because every week on this channel we come back to this truth in a different form, and we keep coming back until it lives in you so completely that the world simply has no more room to convince you of anything less. Drop a comment saying I am done begging, because saying it out loud is the first act of meaning it. And share this with someone who has been asking for permission to be who they already are for far too long.